Mom Talk with Maria Bailey. Join Maria as she takes on topics important to you. From the cradle to college, Maria and her expert guests offer information, tips, and tools to make the busy lives of families easier. Now, here's your host, Maria Bailey.
There's so many things that intrigue me about our next guest. His name is David Kim, and I'll start at the top. So first of all, what intrigues me is we got to congratulate him because he had a baby last week, which woo, that's fantastic. So we know we're talking to a dad. He studied economics at Harvard University. Okay, well, anybody that studies economics, you got to wonder about and be intrigued about. But more importantly, and the reason we have him here, is he is all-knowing about college and our children. And he actually started his company a long time ago when he was in Harvard in a dorm room. It wasn't really that long ago. And his company is C2Education.com. And we're going to be talking about the new SAT and ACTs. Because if you're like me and you have a junior or sophomore in your house right now, you are in the thick of SAT and ACT season. So I am super excited to introduce you and to welcome David Kim, new father and the founder of C2Education.com, to Mom Talk Radio. Hi, David.
Hey, how you doing?
How was that for an introduction, huh?
That was an amazing introduction. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Okay, so let me put it into perspective. I'm on my fourth child who is trying to get into college. Okay, so I've got 3 that are in college now. My fourth one, she is the least inclined to want to take the ACT and ACT. She also has a documented challenge, so we get extended time on both tests. And if I break, let's just say, a modest number, I will be very happy. So let's talk all things SAT and ACT because it's the thing on my mind right now. First of all, what is the difference in the new SAT and old SAT?
Well, the first and most obvious thing on the new SAT is the scoring, right? So the scoring on the new SAT is 1,600 for a perfect score, and the old one was a 2,400. The 1,600, however, is not that unfamiliar because before 2005, a perfect score back then was also a 1,600.
So is the makeup of the test any different?
Yeah. So when they made the first change in 2005, they added a writing component, right? So it was math, reading, and writing, and each section was 800 points. The new test, there's still a math component, which is out of 800. And now there is a new combined verbal section, which basically puts together both the reading and writing sections of the old test into one test, and that will also be out of 800. And they will also continue to have an essay on this new test.
Okay, gotcha. So what is the difference? I have a philosophy, and you can tell me I'm wrong, but first of all, I think that a lot of parents make a mistake by not having their children start taking the ACT or the SAT at least June of their sophomore year, just to get them familiarized. And most parents will say, oh, but my kid already takes the PSAT. However, I have found with my kids that it's just good to expose them. Most parents, from what I see, wait until either the end of their junior year or the first semester of their senior year. But if you wait that long, you really only have 2 or 3 times to take it in the spring, and then maybe one time to take it before the December 1st deadline. So when is the right time?
Well, the right time, Maria, is to take the test when a student is ready. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Students definitely need to be familiarized with any test that they're taking before they take it. There's some parents and students who feel like it's okay for me to take this test cold without having had any exposure to the questions at all. But if a student has had exposure, they know what's coming out on the test, they've seen the questions, and they've practiced, they're definitely going to do better. And so not to take advantage of that time and opportunity to do so would be a huge mistake.
Well, my husband and I disagree on this. He thinks that, basically what you get on the test is what you're going to get, and you really can't improve that much. But it sounds like that you sound like you're more in my camp where you can improve.
Correct. I mean, on the old test, there's been obviously documented, studies done that, with preparation and with, the right instruction and practice, a student is going to improve. You can, have it akin to sports, right? Just going in and playing a baseball game or going to play a football game without practicing, your free throw shots or your passing and running and blocking, you're not going to be as well off and prepared for that game without practice. And academics is no different. The new SAT, what is really great about it is that it's a content-driven test. And so it's a test that's more coachable and preparable than ever before because there are specific and discrete skills that a student can actually practice, study, know in order to do well.
Yeah, but then we're just learning to the test. And so I guess that's where I've come up with the trend that a lot of colleges now are going to test optional, right? Because of that.
Yeah, so I mean, to your point on learning to the test, you can learn toward anything, and the new SAT, what the new SAT, one of the things it's really trying to do is it's trying to make a test that's more relevant to what a student learns in school. And so when the College Board did polling from the last test on March 5th, 71% of the students said, hey, the questions on the new SAT are actually very similar to what I learned in school, that it's not something that's foreign and it's not something that I'm going to have to necessarily prepare for independently, from this new SAT. So the new SAT in that regard is very aligned with what a student learns in school.
Okay. So we only have 2 minutes left. How do you support, how does your website, c2education.com, support parents who are going through this misery that I'm going through right now?
Well, the biggest thing is it provides resources so that parents and students can see what actual questions on the new SAT looks like, right? I mean, there is a huge difference in content. The content is more specific. It's a little bit more challenging, right? It's on average one grade level higher. But since it is similar to what a student learns in school, the majority of students who took the test on March 5th, their biggest comment was that, it's more difficult, but it's more similar to what I learned in school. So I'm already used to the types of questions that are being asked, and it's also more engaging, right? The old test was more generic and general problem-solving skills, whereas the new one, even though they have the broad categories of math and verbal, the specific passages and types of questions they're asking are actually a lot more interesting than what students have seen before in the past.
Right. Well, I want to let everyone know, remind everyone, it's David's website is c2education.com. We have a link to it on Mom Talk Radio. And David, thank you so much for chatting with us today, and hopefully I'll be able to report to you soon that we've done well on our ACT and SAT tests. So thank you, and good luck with your new baby.
Thank you very much, Maria.